stunner in the Sunshine State, Dems handed the pink megaphone lady a Senate nomination.
The Democrats just suffered one of the most embarrassing primary nights in modern political history, and they did it to themselves.
DSA candidate Angie Nixon beating Alexander Vindman in the Democrat Senate primary. But look at the money. Vindman raised $16 million. Also had the backing of Chuck Schumer. Nixon, less than $1 million. And all she had was Ilhan Omar and Rashid.
Okay, hold on. Alexander Vindman. You remember that name. He was the absolute golden boy of the radical left back in 2019. He was the star witness for Chuck Schumer and the establishment during their very first fake impeachment of Donald Trump. The media paraded him around television networks as an untouchable hero who was going to take down the president single-handedly. Well, look how the mighty have fallen. Take a trip down memory lane to see how much they loved him.
The impeachment probe now, and the parts of the phone call at the center of the inquiry that the White House apparently omitted from the memo. Remember the memo that they released that basically kind of explained how it all worked?
Well, he said, yeah, here's the transcript.
That was then, this is now. Despite raising over $16 million with the full backing of Chuck Schumer, Vindman just got completely crushed. And who beat him? A literal socialist named Angie Nixon, who raised less than $1 million. The Democrat Party in Florida has shifted so far into extreme radical territory that they threw their own impeachment hero out into the trash. They replaced him with a candidate who proudly stands with the most extreme wing of their base. Listen to her own words.
Recently joined the Working Families Party. I also just recently joined DSA because there were some things, the majority of things that I'm supportive of. But just like I'm a Democrat, there are some things that I do not fully support within the Democratic Party, particularly those corporate Democrats, right? I don't accept corporate PAC money.
There it is. She openly admits to joining the Democratic Socialists of America. According to the Washington Post, the official platform of this group explicitly calls for abolishing the United States Senate entirely. Yes, the very office she is running to occupy. The absolute hypocrisy is stunning, but it gets so much worse. Florida Republican Ashley Moody is getting ready to face off against Nixon in November, and she just dragged the rest of this radical agenda straight into the daylight.
You're going to have one side that I'm going to be up against that wants to, and the platform says, defund the police, don't fund our military, open up the border, non-citizen voting.
Tell me I am wrong in the comments, but that sounds less like a political platform and more like a suicide note for a state. Non-citizen voting, abolishing prisons. This is exactly what the radical left wants to force onto your neighborhood. But before you think this is just about ideology, you need to see how selfish these people really are. When their own power is threatened, all of their progressive values magically disappear. Watch what longtime Democrat Debbie Wasserman Schultz just pulled.
In the redrawn District 20, longtime Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz won over several black candidates who strongly criticized her decision to run in the historically black district.
We need someone that understands the vast majority of this community.
As expected, Trump...
Notice what she did there. Wasserman Schultz faced heavy criticism from black Democrats for running in a historically black redrawn district. She completely ignored them and defeated multiple black candidates just to keep her own grip on power. They only care about diversity when it helps them politically. Florida voters are wide awake, and Republicans are going to completely wipe the floor with these socialists in November. Check out my last video where we covered another massive Trump victory.